Hey, it's me, Vicky Merry. And first of all, thank you, all my subscribers, every one of you that's sitting watching this video, even my trolley dollies. Thank you for supporting my channel. Please remember to like or dislike. Any interaction is better than no interaction. Thank you for all my members. Membership of my channel is €1.99 a month, that's all. And we have a live stream every Thursday, and also you can read my developing crime novel, Please Subscribe to Murder, which I am serializing on there. I also want to say thank you to lots of you that have bought me Ko-fis, sent me supers, super chats, super thanks, super stickers, and PayPal'd me. Thank you so much. I'm overwhelmed with your support. It just helps me carry on with the channel and make more time. You know, the more time I can free up, you know, the more my channel progresses, the more time that I can free up to actually spend on it. Anyway, so this video is something completely different, I think, than anything that I've ever really sort of looked at before. But this video came up on my Twitter or my Twitter or my X, what, you know, it's called X now, isn't it? I don't think I'm ever going to get used to that. Anyway, we'll see. And it just fascinated me, this video, and it started me off thinking, you know, this is from London, from the UK, and it just made me think, if it's so, well, you'll see as we watch this video, it took so long for the police to arrive, despite having been phoned so many times, this is in London, that in the end, someone took everything into their own hands. And I wanted to know, what I want to know from you is, because I can't decide, you know, the trouble with vigilante justice is, where does it stop? You know, where do you stop and where do you start again? But, you know, sometimes the public has to take things into their own hands because the police are not present. You know, they seem to all turn up for things, I don't know, oh, well, Holly Willoughby, you know, she's got full police protection. And meanwhile, you know, you and I, Joe Bloggs, wandering around the streets of London, we haven't got a big mansion that the police are protecting 24 hours a day because we're not famous. And meanwhile, Joe Bloggs and his wife and their kids are just left to sort things out for themselves or hope that somebody else helps them. So I want to show you this video. I will comment on it. I don't think there'll be any copyright on it, but every now and again I will copyright it. I will comment on it. So it's very interesting, I think, because you know what they say. Well, first of all, let me just say it's sad. You know, it's a real event that happened, but it's in you see there's a lot of people about. It's in London, it's in the centre of London, then it goes down onto the tube in London. So there's people around. Now they do say that you've got more chance of getting help if you're in a remote area than you have in a crowded area. Because in a crowded area, people always leave it to the next person, don't they, to help, to sort it out. And then nobody wants to get involved. Obviously, everyone's scared. So they leave it, hope that somebody else will help. But of course, if you're in a remote area, they can see that nobody else is there to help you. So people are more likely to help you immediately. Whereas in a crowded area, they're more likely to leave it to somebody else to do. And we can see that very clearly in this video. I just want to add, oh, well, I'll do it as we're looking at the video. Let's get on with it. Okay, so this was a couple, young couple, who were dining in a restaurant somewhere in London, and a guy came in and stole their phone. So they followed him. Let me just put this.
Stole his phone. He stole it. Give back the phone. Put it on the floor.
So they put this video on TikTok. So this guy, he went in to the restaurant where they were eating. He stole the phone off the table and off he went. Well, he didn't expect the result that he had, because this young couple, they got up and followed him out of the restaurant and followed him along the street.
Guys, you stole my phone!
Oh, so I don't know if he's putting it in his pocket there. I don't know if he just...
Give back the phone. Give back the phone.
He stole my phone!
So see how they're shouting to everyone, he stole my phone, he stole my phone. Nobody is doing anything. Though there's quite a lot of people. People are scared to get involved. I don't blame him, because this guy could have a knife. He could even have a gun, really. I mean, you just don't know.
He stole his phone. He stole it. Give back the phone. Put it on the floor.
Yeah. So she's saying to him, put it on the floor. And you'll see throughout this video, this lady gives him many opportunities, you know, to just hand the phone over and that'll be the end of it. They don't want retribution for him. They just want their phone back. Well, you know, you and I know, it's not the phone, is it? It's the information on the phone, all your numbers, photos, probably your banking apps. You know, our life is in our phone nowadays, isn't it? It's like carrying a computer around with you. If someone steals your computer, again, it's not the actual computer. You can always buy another computer. It's all the information that's stored on it. Anyway, so this guy starts running. Nobody else has tried to stop him, even though that, you know, it's very sad indictment in our society, isn't it? That when somebody needs help, nobody helps.
He stole his phone. Please help.
These guys, they're just working. They're just not even batting an eyelid. I mean, I suppose in London, maybe things like this happen all the time. I think that's the thing as well. If you're in a village, well, I say that, you know, like St. Michael's, you know, it's still not safe, is it? But if I was here, I'm not saying there's no crime in my village. There is crime. But I think if you were, shouting for help and chasing somebody would definitely help. I think. I don't know. I've never. I have had, not exactly here, but not far from here. I did have my bag stolen, and people did run over to help. But again, it was, you know, there weren't many people about. But it just amazed me how many people just literally, maybe some of them are thinking, no, it's just somebody messing about. They don't even know if it's true or real, do they?
Drop the phone, we leave you alone.
So they followed him into the tube station. He's just sauntering around. He's got the phone in his pocket. He's eating an orange for some totally unknown reason. Maybe he's trying to look innocuous, but he's got an orange out of his bag or out of his pocket, and he started eating that.
I'm not moving.
You. We're following you until you
drop the phone. Please don't let him on the train. Please, I'm asking for your help. Don't let him on the train. Give him the phone. Give him the phone.
Give me my phone.
Give the phone back.
So they're asking people for help, and that people aren't helping. But, you know, I can honestly say if I was there, I don't know what I'd do. I would be scared to help. But then, you know, I'm a woman. I'm not a young woman. So, you know, you have to just hope that there'll be some young people, maybe a group of people, someone a bit stronger, because he's a big guy as well. He's quite a scary looking guy because he's tall, he's broad, he's intimidating.
We're going to follow you until you give us back our phone with the police.
Please give back the phone.
It's not worth it.
We leave you alone.
It's not worth it.
Now, these people are actually sat on the tube track. This poor guy must be thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, why has he come and sat next to me? You know, the tube. I've only been on the tube a few times in London many years ago. And I have to say, it's the most horrible experience in my. I just just horrible, the thought of being so close up to all those different people. And there are lots of weird people on the tube, aren't there? I mean, my friend was living in Harrow on the Hill, and I went up to visit her. I must have gone on the train from Manchester, I presume, and then I will have got on the tube. I think she met me at the train station, and then we got the tube like to Harrow. And it could only happen to me as I'm getting on the tube, one of my shoes falls off and slips between the tube and the and the platform. Literally falls down, and I've lost my shoe. I love those shoes. They were pink. I remember them, like pink court shoes. You know, when I used to wear sort of high shoes, that just shows you, and they weren't high, but they had like what you'd call kitten heels, and they were pink and white. They were lovely. And I was, how old would I have been? I was probably about 21, 22, maybe even younger. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. And there was my shoe gone. So I'm on the tube. I'm sorry, I've got one shoe on, one shoe off. So my friend, things that you do when you're young, she took her shoe, one of her shoes off as well, so that I wouldn't feel stupid. So sweet of her. I sat there and thinking, oh my God, I got to go and buy a new pair of shoes. And I was distraught because these were my favourite pair of shoes. Anyway, as we're sat on the tube with our one shoe, both with one shoe on, there was a guy on the tube who was, totally off his head on something, either alcohol or drugs, I don't know, but he thought we were fascinating. So he sort of sat there looking over like all quizzical, and he's going, they've only got one shoe on. It was like he was talking, I think he had multiple personalities. It was like he was talking to one of his multiple personalities. Why do you think they've only got one shoe on? Like Gollum in Lord of the Rings. What do you think, Precious? And he was having this conversation with himself about our shoes. I was terrified because I didn't know, if he was he could be just drunk, or he could be someone with serious mental health issues that we should be scared of. Anyway, nothing happened, and we got off, and I bought myself a new pair of shoes. But I think really, apart from that, I think I've only been on the tube one other time. And that went without incident when I went to the Roman Road Market in London from Reading with some friends of mine. And luckily, one of the girls that she knew, she was born in London. She knew London inside out, so she knew all the tube, where to get on one tube off. I would have been lost. I'm lost with anything like that now. I've lived in Spain so long. I'm not even used to the buses in Manchester. I find them intimidating because there's so many of them. We only have a bus once every 3 hours to my village. So I'm digressing. But what I'm saying is, so I do think you feel less safe, don't you, when there's a lot of people around you like that, because they don't want to get involved. Where's the guard? Because we don't have guards now, do we? Don't have security on these tubes. I presume there's CCTV, but I don't know.
Worth it. I'm going to follow you until you give it back. So just give it back to me now and save everyone the trouble.
Give him the phone. That's not yours.
My friend, move. I say move. Move.
Yeah, so this second stranger is intervening. He stands up. He's already got plaster cast on his hand. God knows what happened to it. It looks like he's broke his hand or something. But he's very intimidating. He's a very tall guy.
Move, my friend. Move.
Listen, don't.
Move.
Thank you for your help.
Move. My friend, I said move. I said
has nothing to do with this.
So he was whispering to him. He was probably saying, so that was an Asian guy that intervened, and then this other black guy comes up. You'd think he'd have maybe a bit more luck with him because he's taller than him. There can't be any claims of racism.
Vous parlez aussi, on parle français.
Now, so then this black guy here, he asks him, do you speak French? Which was like a stroke of genius. Thank God for him, because he says yes. And then it turns out that the people that he's stolen the phone off, they speak French as well.
C'est. On a sur caméra.
Demande.
S'il vous plaît, juste donner le téléphone et
On peut éviter
on vous
tout
laisse,
ça.
on vous laisse,
On va éviter tout
on
ça.
quitte.
Juste donnez-moi mon
On
téléphone.
ne dit rien.
Donnez-moi.
They just want their phone back. You know, they just want their phone back because it's probably got all sorts of information on it and photos and stuff, personal things. It's probably more the personal things.
Mon téléphone, je suis con, vous savez très bien que vous avez pris mon téléphone, mais tu sais très bien que tu as pris mon téléphone.
Mais t'es con, est-ce que tu penses que je vais me poser dans le métro comme ça en train de manger dans mon orange si j'ai ton
He just carries on eating his orange.
téléphone?
On était deux personnes.
Écoutez,
On n'est pas en
ça
train
va,
de.
ne me faites pas un film.
Moi, je ton téléphone, ne filme pas, je vais te l'arracher, toi, tu vas rien comprendre. T'as compris ou pas?
And he starts on that lady there and he says, I'm going to rip that from you because she was filming him, I think. So he intimidates her. This other poor woman's terrified.
He took it
We
from the
literally
table
saw
and
him.
ran. And I followed him.
Le téléphone, mon gars, je l'ai jeté déjà. Ton téléphone, il est loin, c'est ça que tu comprends pas en fait. Sinon, je serais pas si là.
I was following you. I saw that you did not throw my phone as you're
Mais
saying.
ton phone, je l'ai jeté, t'es con.
Why
quoi.
did you throw it?
Mais t'es con,
So
quoi.
you just took my
Je suis
phone to
pas tout
throw
seul.
it? You
T'es
just
con,
took
quoi.
my, you
Il n'est
stole
pas
my
tout
phone.
So he starts off saying that he's thrown the phone away. And now he starts to say that he doesn't work alone. So he's sort of insinuating that he's thrown the phone away, somebody else has picked it up. But the guy whose phone it is, he knows he hasn't thrown the phone away because he chased him from the restaurant and he would have seen him throw the phone away. So he knows that he hasn't thrown the phone away. I don't know if any of you ever remember there was a really weird craze, like about how long ago would it have been? Probably 20 years ago now, thinking about it. Maybe a little bit less, called happy slapping, where all these kids, you know, when I say kids, I mean like young adolescents would go around sort of video, you know, hitting people or slapping people or hitting them with a brick even and stuff like that, and then take a video of it and think it was hilarious and circulate it on their social media. This was when social media wasn't as popular, obviously, as it is now. So I'm trying to think, it can't have been 20 years ago then. But anyway, the reason why I'm saying it is because I went to Manchester to visit my friends, to visit my sister. I was staying in Bury somewhere, and I got the tram to go and visit another friend, which, you know, it's her fault because it's the same friend that I went to see in London when I lost my shoe. Anyway, everything was okay on the tram going there because it was round about Christmas time. As I went there, it was daytime, it was about 12 o'clock as I was on the tram going there. It was a lovely atmosphere on the tram. It felt really Christmassy. The tram went through Manchester town centre and then went out to the other side of Manchester. My friend lived in Macclesfield and she couldn't come and pick me up because the traffic to try and get to pick me up from the other side of Manchester. So what she'd said to me was, get a tram as far as you can and I'll pick you up from where the tram lets you off. Which I can't remember where it was. I think it was Alderley Edge or somewhere like that. Anyway, that was fine. But then coming back was a nightmare because coming back, it was night time. It wasn't late. It was about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the evening, but it was dark, you know, because it was winter. It was probably about 7 o'clock. And I was on the tram. The tram didn't go all the way through. I had to get off the tram in the town centre, in Manchester town centre, get another tram then to Bury. And I got on this tram. Yeah, when I think back, Jack was maybe 12, maybe a little bit younger, 10, 11, 12. And he was oblivious because he's been really more or less brought up in Spain. He wasn't really streetwise. I mean, I am quite streetwise because I was brought up in Manchester. It's, you know, I've lived in rough areas. I've worked in rough areas. I've gone out in rough areas. You know, I have got a bit of street savvy, but my son, he doesn't have that so much because he's never lived in that sort of environment. Anyway, I could see this gang of young lads got on the tram, about 5 of them, And they were young. I mean, they were about the same age as my son, maybe a couple of years older, maybe 14, 13, 14. And the atmosphere changed on this tram. Honestly, God, it was terrifying. It was like, felt like I was on some sort of New York subway or something. Just the atmosphere, you can feel, being an empath, I can feel it. The atmosphere, you could have cut it with a knife. Everyone was on edge and they were walking up and down the carriage and just being awkward. And of course, I could see that they were looking at my son, because my son is a young lad who was on there. And I was just thinking, oh, please God, just let us get off this tram. I just felt like something was going to happen. Also, though, at the same time, I was angry with myself for being frightened of 14-year-old boys, and they're all had their hoodies on, their big men, aren't they, with their hoodies covering, balaclavas covering their faces and that. They don't want anyone to know who they are. Anyway, finally, we reached our stop and we got off. And these guys got off at the same stop. It was terrifying. But the worst thing was, as they got off, I didn't see exactly what happened, but I could see as the tram took off, there was a guy sat on the tram with his head in his hands like that. And then they were sharing a video around each other. So I think as they got off the tram, they'd hit this guy, whacked him with something. And he was just clutching his head. But of course, the tram was going then. And these young lads, they were all just, oh, got him good. Like, oh, look at the video. And they had a video of it. And that was happy slapping. And when my sister came to get me there, met me, she was waiting outside the tram station, thank goodness. And I said, that's it, I'm not going on public transport again in Manchester. Well, not at night time anyway. Now, as I say, this is quite a few years ago. Maybe it's a bit better again now. I don't know, but terrifying. It's terrible, isn't it? You should not feel unsafe to go out after 6 o'clock in the evening.
Alors dites à votre ami de nous donner. Alors s'il vous plaît, dites.
So he's gone from saying he threw it away, then his friend took it, and now it's broken.
Dites à votre ami de nous donner le téléphone et on vous laisse.
Moi, ça ne sert à rien de monsieur. Je vais m'énerver, je vais leur taper.
But he actually says, I will get angry and I'll hit you.
Si vous tapez, ça va être un problème pour vous, hein?
Je vais le répéter une fois, pas deux fois. Tu me suis, je te tape.
Parce que je donne mon téléphone, je m'en fous.
I mean, they are brave. He just says, I want my phone, I don't care.
اسمع عن جد معقول يكون معك
You just say then, look, he might have a knife. That's what you have to worry about in London, isn't it? The knife crime.
Give us the phone back.
Yeah, I think then he attacked the woman, tried to get the phone off her. He's still eating his orange for whatever reason. Why is he eating an orange? What's that about?
Like, no, fuck off.
touche pas.
You steal my phone and you want to harass us?
No, fuck off. touche pas.
You steal my phone and you want to harass us?
Now, the guy that spoke to him earlier, he's got off the train with them. I mean, this is what gives you faith in human nature, isn't it? Because you've got the horrible guy here, and you've got not only him, but I think a couple of the other people that were on that tram. That's, what do you call it? A train, I suppose, subway train, on that subway. Got off when he got off and the couple got off, they got off as well. They carried, they were still there backing them up. I think otherwise he probably would have done something pretty bad before now, but there were people there monitoring him.
C'est quoi le téléphone? Le téléphone, il est déjà loin.
That guy really was trying to reason with him.
That's fine, no?
We leave you alone.
No, that's fine.
We leave you alone.
Je te dis, c'est pas le téléphone.
I followed you. I didn't see you give it to anyone. Okay, but
On vous laisse, on vous quitte. Juste donnez-nous le téléphone. On parle en français, il n'y a personne qui comprend. Alors, il est où le téléphone?
So she says, we're speaking in French, no one understands us. So he's still saying, I threw it away, it's already far by now.
Je te l'ai répété une fois, deux fois, trois fois, tu comprends pas. Le téléphone, je l'ai pas.
Alors, il est avec qui? Dites à votre ami de nous donner le
C'est
téléphone.
même pas mon pote.
C'est qui alors? Pourquoi vous travaillez avec lui? C'est pas votre pote.
Bref, le téléphone, non, je l'ai pas.
you block the phone and try to get another one because there's no
How
point
do I
in getting like physical with this guy.
Yeah, so these lovely strangers followed us on and off the trains and kept helping us handle the situation. That is, but where's the police? Because they've rang the police by now. He mentions it in a minute.
Let's forget it. Disconnect the phone or track the phone somewhere. Because if he's saying he threw it away, then he must have threw it away. But it's stupid of him because when he's saying that he did.
I do think this guy is pretending he's not bothered, but he's bothered. He just doesn't know what to do now because he's like, well, I've told him I haven't got the phone. I can't just produce the phone now. He won't want the police to be there because, I mean, what's his immigration status for a start? So, I don't know. What is he thinking? Or is he thinking just waiting for his chance to run off? He's probably still thinking he can run off with the phone. But I think if that was me, and it wouldn't be me, obviously, but, he might really need money. I'm not saying, but I would just take that phone and put it on the thing, just forget it now.
Give it to someone else. If it's blocked, you can't do it.
You can't be parcel, you can't do nothing. No one can look it, only you.
Je me suis installé sur toute la station, je n'ai pas ton téléphone. Mon téléphone, il est déjà.
Vous savez, ce que vous pouvez faire, c'est juste le mettre à côté de vous là et on vous quitte.
Oh, that poor girl. So he's gone and sat down next to that poor girl. She's probably thinking, oh my God.
En fait, je te le répéter une fois, deux fois.
Et comment on sait si vous dites la vérité?
Ouais, t'as pas vu, j'ai couru. Mon pote, il m'a vu courir. Son téléphone, je l'ai jeté, je l'ai pas. Son téléphone, il est moi. Mais la police que tu veux, ils vont fouiller. Dans moins de 24 heures, je suis dehors, je suis en train de fumer une clope.
So tell the police what you want. In less than 24 hours, I'll be out having a coffee.
Pourquoi il a vu? Mon téléphone, j'ai.
Oui, mais on a des vidéos alors.
The ironic thing is that's probably true.
Je fais delete,
They haven't even got any room at the moment in prison for rapists. That's what they said, wasn't it? That they're not. I mean, unbelievable in Britain. So they have no room in the prisons to put RAPISTSs. So they're just roaming free to do it again because they've got nowhere to put them. So they're not going to do anything with this guy who's just stole the phone.
delete et il n'y a pas de problème.
Alors, regarde, là, ils ont appelé pour les stations qu'il faut, tu connais, voilà, les gars, c'est pour venir.
Yeah, he said you've already heard the station have rang the police 10 times and you see they're not here.
Mais il y a toujours, c'est votre lock, oui. Il y a peut-être des gens il y a peut-être la police maintenant, on dit rien.
So she says, oh, that's just luck, there might be a police here now. But we won't say a thing if you give it back, they just want their phone back.
Vous mettez juste le téléphone à côté de vous. Vous le mettez juste à côté de vous. C'est aussi simple que ça. C'est aussi simple que ça.
So she's saying to him, just put it next to you. It's as easy as that.
Vous le mettez juste à côté de vous. Mais comment c'est que vous dites la vérité? He gave the phone. He gave the phone.
Yeah, we have the phone. We have it.
Now they've cut that bit out. So as they were there, a different stranger who was sitting heard the conversation, intervened, and before we knew it, he had hit the pickpocket, and the other stranger took the phone from his pocket. Bloody brilliant.
Yeah, leave the phone.
So what's he going to say now? Give me my phone back.
Yeah,
C'est toi, pussy.
Oh,
My friend, I am in
not really.
Okay, get off the train.
Get off.
Yeah.
I have one.
So, the guy who did it, I mean, I hope nothing happens to him. He'll probably go to the police now and do him for assault. So notice these two guys. This is the guy from the first train, the guy in the white top. From the very beginning, he's been following that around and he's been trying to intervene in a calm way and sort it out. And that, you know, more than that other guy deserved, but you know, he was right to do it. This is a new guy. And then the guy that actually hit him, and what the other guy that we'll see him in a minute, he actually hit him, and while he was distracted, I think it was the guy in the white hoodie that took the phone out of his pocket.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can I give you a hug? Thank you so much. It was my phone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
There he is.
Good to have your phone back.
Now, I'm laughing. That's a nervous laugh because obviously it's not good when someone has to, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, he has practically had to assault him to get his phone back. So what do you think? Do you think they did the right thing? I don't mean them, but do you think that guy did the right thing? You know, it's sort of wary of saying it because it's obviously probably illegal what he did, but there were no police there. There were no police. That couple had to follow that guy and they had to get that phone back themselves. And they put themselves in danger. Those people that followed them from train to train, that guy that actually took the phone out of the pocket in the end when the other guy hit him, you know, they're heroes in my eyes because I know it's only a phone, but it could have been anything. You know, it's the principle, isn't it? You do not have the right to steal other people's things like that. You just don't. You don't, and you don't then have the right as well then to turn around and threaten them just because they want their property back. But, you know, it's a tricky one as far as the law's concerned, you know, but the law is an ass, as they say. So, you know, where are the police? Well, all the police around Holly Willoughby's house, guarding her 24/7. Even though the guy who supposedly has been plotting to kidnap her is being arrested. And she's also got, or she certainly did have protection from this morning as well. So there you go. If you're just a normal person, you don't get that protection. You have to count on the kindness of strangers, really. You know, and those people helped. And they put themselves in danger as well because that guy could have had a knife. I would imagine he may well have had a knife, but he wouldn't take. He knew he was being videoed, so I suppose he would think that's you know, that's a more serious offence, isn't it, than stealing a phone if he was caught with a knife. So he didn't produce any weapons, and maybe he didn't have any, but you just don't know, do you? So I just thought I'd show that because that really, that popped up on my Twitter, and I just thought I would share it with you. I thought it was an interesting talking point. You know, what do you think? Do you think they did the right thing, or should they have just let it go, just reported it to the police and maybe given the police the video? Maybe the police would have known this guy. But how many criminals are there in London? Do you know? It's like, it's not. Again, if that sort of thing happened in a little village and they had a video of somebody actually doing something, it wouldn't be that difficult to find them, would they? But how do you find someone in London? You know? Dear me. Anyway, I hope you found it interesting. And let me know, as ever, your comments. I'm always interested in people's comments. Do you think they did the right thing, or do you think they did the wrong thing? Because it really was against the law. You know, it is against the law to take justice in your own hands. But is sometimes the law not, you know, just wrong? And I suppose if you know, the worst came to the worst and that guy did go to the police and there was some sort of court case, do you think any of them would get any punishment? You know, or how would a judge look on it? Well, a judge has to look. A judge has to look within the law. So it doesn't really matter what they think. They might think, the judge might think, oh my God, I don't blame him, I would have done that. But they have to operate within the law. I mean, they have a little bit of leeway, don't they? But not that much. So I think it's a very interesting conundrum, if you like. So that distracted me today from the war between Israel and Hamas, because I've umming and ahhing about doing some videos on that, but I don't like upsetting anybody. But as you know, for me, it is a war between Israel and Hamas. It's nothing to do with the Palestinian citizens or the Jewish citizens. For me, this is a political, as always, political or religious war. I've been, you know, it's very distressing to see what's going on there. And I was thinking about it. You know, bringing my cup of tea down to my studio, you know, like just a simple thing like that. Yeah, I'm going to go make another cup of tea in a minute. Imagine suddenly you've got to just pack what you think you might need. How do you even know what you might need? Because you don't even know where you're going or what you're going to find along the way. Take your children, your animals, what you're going to do with your dogs, your cats, whatever, you know. It's unbearably awful what these people are facing, and that's the choice. The choice is either do that and just go and see what's waiting for you on the road to the other end of Gaza, or stay in your homes. At least you're comfortable in your homes. There, where you get your food and water from, I don't know. But then you could be bombed at any minute, because we don't know what Israel are going to do when they go through there. Well, I was listening to one of their commanders talking this morning. It sounded to me like they were just going to go through and kill everybody, because, you know, they're just going to obliterate that part of Gaza, because they're so determined, you know, to get the Hamas people. And I know it's difficult because Hamas do, you know, sort of locate themselves within civilian areas. But, you know, it's not only Hamas that do that. You know, a lot of people do that in war. You know, they do that. That's their shield. So what is the answer? I don't know what the answer is, but the answer cannot be to just go and kill another load of innocent people. That cannot be the answer in my eyes, anyway. So, yeah, this distracted me from that, gave me another conundrum to think about, because life is like that, isn't it? It's a battle of ideas. I remember a lecturer at university saying that to me years ago. Life is a battle of ideas. Society is a battle of ideas. And it is, really. It's, you know, everybody thinks they're right. But, you know, to live together in harmony, we have to. If we can't reach agreement, we have to at least agree to differ. Otherwise, we're just constantly at war, be it religion, territory, money. You know, there's so many things that people go to war about, isn't it? It's just like, you know, never ends, does it? Okay, so I will see you really soon in the next video. I expect I'm going to, you know, maybe do some, obviously tomorrow is Sunday, tomorrow will be Serial Killer Sunday. I've got an interesting one for you, I think, tomorrow. Yeah, and maybe I'll try and do some, let me know what you thought of this video, something a little bit different. Is it interesting for you to watch? I'm always, you know, my prime aim is to make the content interesting for you. So thank you, and live and love very carefully. Look out, don't leave your mobile phone on the table in a restaurant in London. And I'll see you really soon in the next video, and until then, may your God always go with you. Thank you.